So we got to do like a little recap, right? My bad. Not really. I just I'll go through some stuff. I had to have some experiences on my own. But we're gonna start with the Venusian day, Friday. You know, that's the day of focusing on your heart chakra, the space of wealth and love, balancing the physical and the non-physical things, right? That was the day of 21, 2 and 1, finding wisdom and knowledge in our space, right? Dealing with that balance, justice, harmony, and truth and righteousness, and taking action on it, or getting, intellect from it, getting that motivation of it. And that's bringing us to three: understanding, creation, and expression, also emotions. And we took that, and of course we put it into the month of two. This is the month of balance, harmony, and justice, law, truth, righteousness. This is the month of wisdom, the chokma energy. This is the Jupiter and like Taurus type, balance, whatever, whether you're dealing with the two of Mayat, Libra, Oba scales, or you're dealing with the second Sephiro or Neteru of Jupiter, right? So we put the three into the two, three of understanding into the space of wisdom that brought us to five, walking in our power. We already know everything that we put into the nines, we're going to get right back. We're just going to get it in bite sizes, and that's okay. We move in gratitude with the fact that we know that this year is the year of reaping what you sow. So like you're going to reap it, right? So when we put the five into the nine, of course, the nine is going to give us the five back, but it gives us it in bite sizes. So it's up to us to put the five back together, right? So we get it back in 1 and 4. This is knowledge of Chesed, our foundation. One can also be with Aries, Ogun energy, your motivation, the gut that controls the mind. Everything starts with a thought. One could deal with your Ketters. That's the Aquarius energy, the power to be one with all. Either way. One is that leadership, taking action, cardinal number, right? And it's aligned with the chesed, the 4, and the Sephiros, which is mercy, imagining the things that we want to have, etc., etc. 4 also deals with balance. And supreme mathematics is freedom, excuse me, the culture of freedom, like your way of life. So taking action on those type of things, taking action on the things that you want to experience in your space, overall bring us to a 5 of power. So that's what we were experiencing on Friday, on that Venusian day, was a day of 5. Astrologically, astronomically speaking, the moon was in Scorpius constellation, so it was going through Graphias and Aries, the Saturn and Mars and the Saturn and Jupiter placements, giving us those challenges that we need in our intuition and our introspection and emotional self, but then ultimately giving us that expansion and that growth and that wisdom in alignment with the challenges, right? Also, we had Sappho, the asteroid that rules over our like our romantic self, but it's kind of like how we woo people of the same gender. How, if you're a woman, how you attract a woman; if you're a man, how you attract men. It enters Pisces, so like that coming into the forefront of your imagination. Whether not always in like a sexual romantic realm, but sometimes, like, some of you guys want to have like I want to have a men's circle. I'm a man, I want to have a man's circle. I want to, so how do you gravitate to the other men in your space to have that safe space for men? Same thing with the women. Oh, I want to have a goddess retreat, I want to have women events, I want to da da da. Well, what is it that you need to bring into your space, or what is it that you have to utilize to attract them to come into your space? You could use that energy in that way as well. It doesn't always have to be like sensual and romantic, but it is in that space where we are having thoughts about it and all that fun stuff. You got Libra, Taurus energy. Yeah, that's the 2 that we're in. That's that month of 2. Whether you 2 in the Libra scales or 2 Taurus ruling the second house. But Friday was definitely a Venusian day on the month of 2. Also, astrologically, astronomically speaking, on Friday, we had Psyche entering the Pisces constellation. So our mindset is giving us those chesed experiences now. So, if you find yourself psychologically focused on your imagination, your dreams, your subconscious, lots of deja vu happening, right? A lot of familiar faces and energy, certain things starting to happen just like that, especially when you're in alignment with your spiritual self and your soul contracts of things. So if you're moving into that space, move into that line of faith, go with your gut feelings with different things, go with your intuition, really pay attention to your nervous system when we're dealing with Pisces energy, right? That's a big one. Pluto and Pallas were like literally on top of each other. Pluto was at 7 degrees in Capricorn in the third house. Capricorn giving us the challenges that we need for our basic resources, our foundation of self, authority of self, and that third house of community. So it's transferring the power there. Pallas is giving us those genius like qualities in ourself that we keep overlooking. So while Pluto's giving that empowerment, Pallas is letting us know, hey, this is what the things you keep overlooking that you have to provide to your community. And hopefully they were bringing to you in the space of community members coming to you and showing you what it is, right? Peace to everybody that's over there on Meet Me that just came in. Peace. It's Mito. Hey Azalea. Hey MJ. Hey Stony. Hey Kelvin. Um, hey over there on TikTok too. Hey Z Energy. Hey L. Peace to the gods. Um, Peace. So, all right, so that's Friday. Now Saturday, we know is the day of Sabbath. That's the day of rest. We had the 222 day, right? So that was like a divine, alignment. 222 is the angel numbers, bringing us to balance, harmony, truth on an upscale. So this could have been a period of time where you really started paying attention to everything you've been experiencing during the month of two and coming to some sort of aha moment. 2-2 is the master architect. So building some sort of foundation in your heart chakra, whether it's with your interpersonal relationships, your bonds and contracts, business pursuits. You know what I'm saying? 2-2 comes together, makes four. That's chesed. So however you've been using this Pisces energy thus far, even when Venus was in Pisces, Mercury being in Pisces, all these planes that have gone through Pisces and are still in alignment in Pisces in some type of way, shape, or form, especially as we're starting to come to a close with Neptune entering Aries today, which we'll get into in a moment. But we still have a lot of asteroids starting to enter Pisces, right? So let's take a breath here, but on Saturday, that was the day where, you really started to solidify some things in your space of business and your interpersonal relationships and your bonds and contracts. So kudos to everybody that was moving in that alignment. Moving in faith is heavy there. Some of you guys setting a foundation to repeat some cycles that you guys haven't fully like grown from yet. Some of you guys are, entering new cycles, all still in alignment with your spiritual growth. And we move in gratitude here with the 22, the master architect, right? So we took that 22 and we put it in a month of two. I don't really reduce my master numbers, but if you want to, we took the 4 and put it into the 2. Either way you want to go about it, right? So, but we take the 22, we put it into the 2, right? And that brings us to 24, finding balance, harmony, and justice with that 4, with that chesed energy that we started the day off with. Your imagination, what's in your Piscean energy. 4 also dealing with culture, foundation, freedom type energy. 4 also dealing with home and family. That's their nurturing self. That's Cancer ruled house. Now we're dealing with the moon energy. Pay attention to what the moon is doing that day. Pay attention to your third eye that day. And the feminine matriarchal type of energy, right? So ultimately that brought us to 6. So however way you guys were creating a foundation on Saturday, whatever it was you were doing, you're applicating that to your health, wellness, and daily routine, your moral and integral code. You're going to start teaching and learning more in that retrospect, in that aspect. You set some things down. You know what I'm saying? And kudos to you guys because 222 is an angel number. So you set some things down in a really nice space to set it down. Okay, so we put that 6 into the cosmos, which is 9. Right now we're in the cosmic number of 9, which is harvest energy. Reap what we sow. So we're going to reap it. We know whatever we put into a 9, we're going to get right back, right? So, but the universe loves us so much and is giving us so much grace. It gives us those numbers back in bite-sized pieces. So we put that whole 6 up in there, and the 9 and 9 is like, here, I'm gonna give it back to you in a 1 and 5. Now you have knowledge of the power that you were on the life path to on yesterday, right? Because Friday was a day of 5. So now you're having knowledge of that 5, that is necessary to put it together and make 6, right? So Saturday was a day of 6. Saturday, like I said, you're starting to set the foundation to your routine. Equality is heavy here. What you give is what you get. So whatever you're putting in your routine, whatever foundation you laid down, those are the experiences that you're going to start having moving forward. Why? Because we're starting to experience Mars moving forward, right? Granted, soon we're going to have Venus and Mercury going to retrograde, and we're going to talk about that soon. Those are interpersonal placements, so parts of self are going to be slowed down again, but we'll get to that in a moment. We'll take a breath for a second. But yeah, so that is the day of 6, right? Not too much happening in the cosmos aside from the moon still sitting over there in Scorpius and Sagittarius. The sun is still in Aquarius and Pisces energy. We had the max south declination of the moon. The north pole of the moon was tipped in the view. It was a great time. So today, well, yesterday, Sunday, I didn't go to sleep yet. But Sunday, we were on a day of 2-3. Now we're finding balance, harmony, and justice on our space of creation and expression, our sense of understanding, right? Which still is going to bring us to a 5. So for the last 3 days, we've been dealing with 5s, right? Our empowerment, our solar plexus chakra, what gets us motivated, what gets us going. 5 also deals with Leo energy, our creative self, right? So this is another way we're dealing with the five. We dealt with the five, then we dealt with the one and four that made us five. Now we're dealing with the two and three that's making us five. You know, but yeah, we're finding that balance. You know, two deals with the Taurus house of the physical and the non-physical, the material and the spiritual or emotional, right? That's Taurus energy, what we value, what we prioritize. If you find yourself clinging too much to the physical stuff, it will be ripped from you. And it won't be ripped from you in a good way because three is Saturn energy and it's coming with the challenges in the earthly realm. Two also deals with Libra energy. Like I said, it's the Libra scales, balance, harmony, and justice. More so in your interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts on the one-on-one type joint, right? Two also deals with wisdom. We're dealing with Jupiter energy. This is Chokma. This is the exercise of the knowledge that we got yesterday on the one and five, right? We got the knowledge yesterday. Now we're finding the wisdom of today. It's happening on a three. Three is understanding, right? Three is Saturn energy. This is like once you get the knowledge from the one and you get the exercise of the knowledge into the two, now you're coming into some sort of conclusion and some sort of bylaw and boundary and survival of self from that knowledge and exercise and knowledge on the three. So that's where we're at right now. We're finding truth in our understanding of things, right? We're sorting through them. That's how we spent the Sunday, right? And ultimately that brings us to five, which is power. Five deals with Leo energy too. So not only are we dealing with Ogun or Hero Kahuti, and in the Sephiros, that energy deals with the throat chakra because you do utilize your throat chakra to like enforce, be a celestial enforcer. Five also deals with Leo house. This is your creative self, your inner child, your romantic self. We love it here, right? Um, but yeah, so we take that five, we're gonna put it into the month of two, balance, harmony. You know, we want everything to be balanced this month. All the numbers, we were finding some type of balance with it. That brought us to seven. It brought us closer to God, right? Seven also deals with Netzach, this the celestial designers making things all pretty for us, and we love it there. Seven also deals with the Libra house, the finding balance and harmony, right? Righteous and truthness. So we're gonna put that into the nine because of course we want to harvest with this energy, and that brought us to one and six, right? So now we have knowledge of our health, wellness, and understanding what we want to do every day, how we want to spend our energy. Sunday was the day y'all probably started working on your schedule, what we're going to work on, having that introspection on those type of things, self-management, self-organizing. Like, okay, now I have an idea of how I want to spend the New Year's. You guys are making plans for March 20th or April 13th, depends on if you use the tropical or the Vedic chart, one or the other. Actually, April 17th is when the sun enters Aries constellation, but the sun enters Aries zodiac on March 20th. So whichever calendar you like to use, I use all of them. And then so you guys are starting to make plans for that, starting to make plans for the month of March overall, starting to feel more motivated because now we're starting to feel a prograde of Mars happening. But just give a breath because we still got like a 7-day grace period. Is some of us wrapping ourselves around, especially for my Cancers and my Geminis, because that is where Mars was at in retrograde. That's now being stationary to go prograde, right? So overall, we put the six into the nine. We say, hey, we want to give light to this. We want to give birth to this, and it brings us back one and six. So like I said, the knowledge on how we want to spend our daily routine, taking action on those things. Ultimately, Sunday was a day of seven. That was a day bringing you guys closer to God, godly like activities. Seven, dealing with the Libra scales of the balance and harmony. I do readings at the end of my mathematics. They're collective readings. My interpersonal one-on-one readings I do on Wednesdays. For that commenter in the comments. So yeah, Sunday was a day of seven, and we like sevens, right? Um, Astrologically, astronomically happening. The moon was Sagittarius constellation, so it was going through those stars, optimism, expansion, wisdom from the oracles and the sages, finding joy and generosity and abundance, right? The moon and cos borealis was in minimal angle early that morning. Mars was stationary at 6:41 a.m. on Sunday and began the prograde motion. And remind you guys, was sitting over there, and Cancer on the tropical, so the mindset on being motivated towards your home and family, your introspection, third eye, emotional self. This was happening in the eighth house of empowerment and transformations happening. So and then Mars is sitting in Gemini, in the Gemini constellation. So as far as the events go, you could imagine like Mars Ogun deals with fire energy, y'all. Just being frank with you, fire energy and new beginnings. And it's a warrior, military type like energy. And Gemini is community and communication. So you can imagine like certain things happening, which is kind of like a foresight into Mercury going in retrograde with like people like miscommunicating. They're being more like aggressive or assertive like communication because of misunderstandings and stuff. And a lot of this, being like a transference of power, secrets coming out, and that's changing the shift of power. Peace, Remy. Will I drive off in the Durango this week? If you want to drive off with the Durango, I'm not a psychic. I don't predict things. I teach you how to be empowered with the energy around you, so that you can walk away with the Durango, or you can not walk away with the Durango, but have awareness as to why it didn't happen. I do energy awareness coaching. No worries, love. But there are ways to use the energy that's going on around right now to walk away with the Durango. You know, like I said, Mars is going prograde, right? It's going prograde in that space of in the events or whatever is Gemini and the community and communication. If you're focused on that, if you're mentally focused on that, it'll come to you. Um, I'm gonna get into Neptune in a minute. Give me a second. But we do have that happening, and also like how well you've been flowing in your Pisces energy is a big one too. So paying attention to that is key. Like when we had Venus over there in Pisces back in January, like if you were doing a lot of manifesting and imagining those things there, and as we have like what do we have now? We have Mercury sitting over there in Pisces with Saturn and Neptune. So invoking those things into your space. We read the book The Secret, right? Start imagining it in your space. You already have the Durango. You're already driving off with the Durango. It's already yours. And empower yourself with it. Now, if you start moving like you have doubt and you start being shaky with the things and you're not confident, you're not utilizing the energy within you and not utilizing the energy around you. So you're not going to have it. And so that's why I teach the things the way I teach it, not so much as I don't want to give you a prediction because that's going against your free will to have the experience of having to go through the cycle again of empowering yourself to get it, or actually getting it this time. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I be coming from. Yeah, encouraging and empowering. That's always the goal here. Um, but also on the 23rd, we had the west side of the moon crater Grimaldi was tipped into view, and then Leo was opposite the sun at 9:02 p.m., which was the best visibility of the year. So if you go outside tonight, you could probably definitely see the Leo constellation looking real lovely. And Leo also brings riches. It also brings riches and confidence and creativity. And you have those stars that bring that. So now let's get into today's mathematics. The 224 year of 9. So we have that balance, law, justice, truth, and righteousness happening on oh yeah, I forgot to say we're in the third. You guys know we're in the third decan of the month, right? We're in that decan of creation and expression, right? Emotions and all that fun stuff. Okay, cool. But we're on the day of 2-4. So finding balance and harmony, righteousness, dealing with that power, justice, wisdom of the 4, which is, culture, freedom. 4 also deals with chesed. This is so from a Sephiroth standpoint, you have 2 being wisdom and you have 4 being mercy, right? So 2 is that space of like intellect and we're exercising what we know, while 4 is like now we're visualizing the things that we desire and we want, and we have this internal like blueprint, like the divine law, that Maya energy on the 4. So we're exercising the wisdom, the knowledge or whatever towards those things, and we're applicating it to our 6, our health, wellness, and daily routine, right? Now, if you get into supreme mathematics, 2 is still wisdom. It's like the manifestation of your knowledge, while 4 is like culture or your freedom. You know what I'm saying? So you're manifesting that knowledge is bringing you closer to your freedom or the pursuit of the things that you want to have. 2 in the houses type is 2 is Taurus energy, finding that balance between the emotional and the material, the physical and the non-physical, and what we prioritize, what we value, our self-esteem, our facets of love and business. And then 4 is that house of home and family, right? nurturing and emotional connection, all that fun stuff. Ultimately, it brings you, all those bring you to 6. If you're dealing with the Sephiroth, that wisdom and that mercy is going to bring you to a 6 of your Tippereth, that heart that be on fire. This is your, just your Leo energy right here. This is your inner child. This is your emotional space. This is, your confidence and your courageousness, all that fun stuff. Now in the astrological realm, you're taking that 2 of Taurus and that 4 of Cancer in the home and family. You're bringing that to 6 of Virgo, right? Your health, wellness, daily routine, moral and integral code, how you listen, how you speak, how you teach, how you learn, right? And then we take the wisdom, we're bringing the culture of freedom, and that brings us to 6 of equality. So whether you're dealing with it in the realms of the Sephiroths, or you're dealing with it astrologically, or you're dealing with it in supreme mathematics, that's how you do the numbers there. All right. So we're in the day of 2 and 4, finding balance, wisdom and all those things in the home and family, emotions and stuff like that. We're gonna take that 6 of health, wellness, daily routine, moral and integral code. We're gonna take that 6 of equality. We're going to take that 6 of the Teperav of our heart, our heart chakra, and we're going to put that into the month of 2. This is a month of being balanced, I don't want to keep getting into the month. We did the month like 3, 4 times. Y'all know what the 2 is, right? And that brings us to 8, which is transformations and empowerment, right? Building and destroying in supreme mathematics. 8 deals with Sebek, which is the celestial technicians, labeling the things in our space, right? So, we have the Scorpius energy real heavy today with, secrets coming out, the pendulum swinging at power. Pay attention to your Scorpius placements today. Pay attention to, your 8th house placements today, because that's in alignment with the day and the month of this today. Also, you can align this with your personal numbers, right? So if you want to know how this is your personal year, what you do is you're going to take your birthday and birth month and add it to this year, right? And that'll let you know how this year, ultimately goes for you. And you line that up with today's mathematics. You can also do like a personal day, personal month, doing the different addings of that as well. But yeah, so we have this 8. The day of 2 and 4 to 6, my bad. The gematria for today is FOX for the 2 and 4 and to 6. F is fire, that's taking action. O is air, that's intellect, and X is earth, bringing it into, the physical. But yeah, so we're at the 8. Of course, we're going to put the 8 into the year of 9. This is the year of harvest, reap what we sow. So we're going to sow like we're going to reap it, giving birth to the things, the foundation of all things. And of course, the 9 always gives us our numbers back in bite-sized pieces for us to have the power to put the numbers together ourselves. So when we put the 8 into the 9, it comes back into 1 and 7. So now we have the knowledge of the 7 that we experienced yesterday, right? On the day of Sunday. Okay, we've been here already. So now we're having intellect. Now we're taking action on the Sunday. Now we want to, make moves to being closer to God and having that balance and that harmony. 7 dealing with the 7th house. That's Libra house. That's when you look at the wheel, the zodiac wheel, and you have, the ascendant and you have the ascendant house, and opposite the ascendant house is the descendant house, which is the 7th house. And that's when you start to get into the winter time, right? So now we're coming into, more of the, fall, winter type energy going beneath the horizon, beneath the light with the 7. But 7 is that number of balance between the upper and the lower before you start to go into the Libra degrees or whatever. But yeah, that's that. 7 also deals with net top. That's victory. That's the celestial technicians. And we're just taking action on these things. We're getting the knowledge, and we're taking action, and we're feeling confident, and we're taking leadership roles to this, see some things happening in the justice system in this realm of things. And it's a great time. Overall, today's a day of 8. Today's a great day, of course, for my 8 life pathers. If you're like a 1, a 4, or a 7, or an 8 life pather, today is like a really awesome day for you. My master number is by automatic. It's just a day of like taking initiative, taking leadership, self-management, scheduling the things that you want to get done today. Empowering yourself today is a big key, for this energy of 8. 8 deals with the solar plexus chakra in a way of, you start manipulating the energies outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a great day for that. My 3s, 6s, and 9s, you guys, create and give birth and serve. Do that more toward from a empowerment place than from a place of lack or a place of scarcity or a place of please like me. Like that type of energy. Come from a more empowered, place. And that's a big key for you guys. But we love the eights. The letters for eight is H, Q, and Z. H being water, that's your intuitive self, your emotional self. Q is air, that's intellect. And there's no element associated with Z. Z be up there in the cosmos. So, hey Clint, Peace, hey Smalin, hey Nimley. I don't really know about, I can't really pinpoint a date on that. Hey Elijah, hey Skylar, hey Chocolate Stoner. How y'all doing? So getting into the netaroos of the things, for number 8, so let's talk about it. Ooh. Hey Farmar 44. Hey love, how you doing? Peace to y'all up there at TikTok in the top. I see y'all. All right. So we talked about 8. Oh, 8 is also Sebek. That's the celestial design technicians. It's labeling things and compartmentalizing things, which is why today is a good day of business, right? So comedic is Anpu, Canaanite is Raphael, and the Kabbalah is Had, which is splendor. Yoruba is Alegba or Eshu, and Hindu Kush is Matanji. The 8th sphere is associated with Mercury, and the day of the week that's associated with that, of course, is Wednesday, one of my favorite days. The color is saffron, red and black. The number is 3, and the gem is emerald today for those of you guys that build altars on a daily basis. To have in your bath is Abre Camino, Arasa Todo, oregano, lavender, and larkspur. Oils to wear, lavender or lily of the valley, and incense to have is lavender and lily of the valley as well. The mantra or the words of power for today is Ang, Aing. The planetary word of power is Ong, Brang, Bring, Brong. And you can like stretch that out like Ong, Bring, Bring, Brong. I would do longer than that, but I'm trying to give y'all a little cliff note. Anyway, the spiritual direction is northeast. The mundane direction is south. As far as the personality portfolio that the day of 8 brings on your animal spirit, some positive emotional traits is being sharp and witty, fond of travel, critical in a positive way, able to separate issues based on externals, diplomatic, cold and pedantic, logical minded, dependent on information and communicative. Some negative traits on your animal spirit today might be being a busybody or opinionated, inconstant in belief, pretending to know yet ignorant, mischief maker, gossiper, scheming, cunning, argumentative, proud, sly, lying, and selfish. Some mental traits is segregative thinking, labeling, defining the verbal clothing of what is known, felt, and perceived, syllogistic logic and imitation. Social correspondences is quick-witted people, good learners from mere observation, even without a teacher. Some careers or functions for today are intellectuals, scholars, academics, students, teachers, ambassadors, astrologers, mathematicians, clerks, technicians, relatively inexperienced lawyers, preachers, teachers, traders, young men, office workers, printers, schemers, schemes. Like financial schemes is big today on the 8. Thieves, journalists, good speakers, diplomats, politicians, and specialists. And the spiritual function or portfolio for today, however pragmatic and necessary for the manipulation of physical phenomena, the mastery of definitions, names, and descriptions, the fundamental elements of our education, does not constitute knowledge of reality. Proceeding with awareness of this limitation will bring us good fortune. Proceeding without awareness of this limitation brings misfortune. We speak glibly of the person coming into being in the 3rd month of gestation, of life arising out of the chance coming together with non-living particles in the same breath that we give better odds to a random assortment of 800 words and definitions on ended cards being tossed into the air and falling in alphabetical order. And with pride, we call ourselves scientists. And so, yeah. But yeah, disunion due to segregative thinking, you want to be mindful of that because that means that there is an overactive Mercurian energy if you're like separating things a little too much. Remember, even in the separations and the labeling of things, we still come back to the one. So, being mindful of that. Clever tactics, clever words, Paying attention to detail, pride in one's education, logical ability, verbal ability, litigations, arguments, having the facts, data, and being informed. So wisdom is not represented by the accumulation of information. The comedic men of wisdom use the dog-headed ape, a very cunning and imitative animal, and hence a subject type to symbolize education as the aping or imitation of wisdom. At best, the most it can do is inspect the measuring hand of the scale of balance, record the verdicts, and chastise the pig. Interesting. So that is the mathematics, the gematria, and the netheruse of the day. So let's get into the astrological astronomical report, y'all. You ready? So we start the day off with a 16% waning crescent moon. We're in that moon of cleansing still. Now we're cleansing the intangible things out of our space. This is mindsets, emotions, thought processes, some memories, some grudges you guys may be holding, some psychological evaluations and analytics. I don't know. Just anything intangible we cleansing, what doesn't serve us, which is really cool on this day of 8, to do some transformations. We got to destroy some things to give room to other things that we want to have in our space, right? And you'll see that flow of like, damn, I just got this, but this went away. You know what I'm saying? And it's showing that, okay, but if you would have had both of those things at the same time, you'd have been stretching yourself super thin. So let's be for real. So having a sense of focus on this energy of 8 is really cool too, because while we have high highs and low lows on the figure 8, the goal is always to be the homeostasis in the middle, right? Moon rising at 4:45 a.m. and setting at 1:49 p.m. Tropically speaking, so on the thought process, the education level of the moon, our intuition is in Capricorn. Challenges happening in our introspection and our emotions self, but it's giving us the boundaries and the resources that we need in our space, right? And the energy exchange, right now our mindset in the draconic chart, the tropical and the draconic chart in alignment right now, they're both in Capricorn. They're like a few degrees apart from each other, because the draconic chart is starting to get closer and closer to the Vedic chart again. So we're about to start having spiritual experiences again real shortly. But right now, we still have the tropical and the draconic still in alignment in Capricorn. So our mind and our soul's experience are both in that experiencing the challenges that are here to strengthen us and give us the boundaries and the resources that we need. Hey, Darlene, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So keeping that in mind, right? Hey, City. And the energy exchanges of our third eye are intuition, home and family, feminine energy. We are in Sagittarius, so being expanded, abundant, being optimistic, being generous, those are all like really major keys. Thank you, 2-3, peace, God. Those are really big. It's all happening in the second house. So this is our house of business and love, of wealth, that balance of material and non-material things, and we love it here. So keep in mind that the moon is still sitting over there in that second house, giving us, all this energy to that realm. The challenges is happening, and it's giving us the experiences of expansion, abundance, and optimism. So regardless of what challenges you got going on in your head and how you thinking it and how your soul's going, just stay in that vortex of abundance. Stay in that vortex of optimism. What's coming for you is what you deserve, and it's going to be great. And sometimes it's not what you actually visualize, but it's going to be what you need, and it's going to be better, than what you visualize, because your visualization sometimes get really small. Hey, I'm a goddess. I am a goddess. Sorry. But as far as the nakshatra goes, we're in the Purvashada nakshatra, which is the 20th out of the 27 lunar mansions. And I'm going to read a little bit about that with y'all right now. Hold on, give me sticky while it's loading. Of course, it loads back up to page 1. But the lunar mansions, they divide. So like how you have like the constellations usually get divided into like the 12-30 degree angles. When you get into like Vedic astrology, is giving light to not all of the constellations are a full 30 degrees. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. And then when we get into the nakshatras, the lunar mansions, they like hey KJ, they like make those like areas even smaller, to where like now we're zoning in on the actual stars and the electromagnetic field of the actual stars that our planets around. In this particular conversation right now, we're talking about the moon. All right. And we know that the moon talks is in regards to is what? The what is our emotions, our nurturing self, our feminine energy, our introspection, which is the internal side of our third eye. That is the what. Where is it happening? Or How is it happening? Right now, in in a realm of challenges in our mindset and our spiritual experience. It's happening in a space of expansion and optimism and generosity. And it can also be addictions and what do you call it? Obsessions. And if we are overactive in the sacral chakra or Sagittarius, or it could also be in like too many restrictions or giving up authority if we too crazy over there in the Capricorn energy, right? So that's the how it's happening. Now, where is it happening? It's happening in our second house, our space of value and priorities. Hey, Roland. That's where all this energy is happening. So the Purvada nakshatra is the 20th of the 27 nakshatras in Vedic astrology. It goes from 13 degrees Sag to 26 degrees Sagittarius, and right now we're at 21. Um, it's a nakshatra that is ruled by the planet Venus and associated with the deity Appa, the goddess of water and purification. It's symbolized by an earring or a tusk of an elephant, which highlights the themes of strength, protection, and purification. Um, so it's bringing the qualities of beauty, pleasure, art, and love. Venus's influence as an element of refinement, elegance, and artistic expression to the otherwise expansive and philosophical energy of Sagittarius. We're seeking knowledge and a love for freedom here, and also having a desire for some sort of adventure, right? The earring or the tusk of elephant represents protection, strength, and the ability to overcome obstacles. It suggests the importance of clarity and purification. The deity Aqua, which is the goddess of water and purification, represents cleansing and rejuvenating qualities of water. Water is symbolic of emotional healing and purification of the mind and washing away impurities. Um, when the moon is here, let's talk about it. The moon being here often triggers an increased sensitivity to emotional issues and inner conflicts. People experience a deep desire to purify or heal emotional wounds, and this can lead to spiritual growth. Venus influence here amplifies the moon's natural intuition and emotional sensitivity, and this can lead to a time where people are more attuned to their inner emotional world and more receptive to spiritual insights. So, for my empaths, I would say wrap your hair today if you guys aren't fully like in charge of your empathic energy and it still overwhelms you. It's a good space to like, really find some type of grounding exercise. You guys will definitely be exercised today. Um the moon may create a desire for emotional balance and harmony in one's life, right? People might seek to find peace within themselves, their relationships, and their spiritual path. With Venus ruling this nakshatra, emotional connections may feel particularly important during this moon's transit here. Loving relationships may experience a boost, and there may be a deeper desire for connection and emotional bonding. Hey, Nick, how you doing? So that's happening there with the moon. Now let's talk about the sun a little bit. Sunrise at 6:39 a.m., sun setting at 5:45 p.m. Now, with the sun, we have our Draconic and our tropical chart both in alignment in Pisces. We're at a 5 degrees, so we're at that 5 of power with Pisces. So feeling empowered in your visualizations and your mercy and, endless giving space. 5 also deals with Herakuhuti, the celestial enforcer, so enforcing your internal law and your mindset. Heavy here. We're at a 7 degree and Pisces in the Draconic, so that's bringing us to that balance, harmony, and justice, in our spiritual self as we engage in that 5 in Pisces on our mental. Now, what's happening in our energy exchanges, in our body, right? We're still in Aquarius. We're still in Aquarius constellations. We're actually at a 10 degree. So now we're going from that cardinal degree, the first 10 degrees. Now we're going to start moving into our fixed degree of the fixed air. Whew. Kind of crazy, but lots of intellect and decisions to let go of some things, like it's time for renewal, being unique and creative and innovative and revolutionary, right? And that requires letting go of some things. All this is happening in our fourth house, so it's going towards home and family, our emotional self, nurturing the feminine energy, the matriarchal spirit, all that stuff. And then the fourth house also brings us back up to the energy of the moon, also brings us back down to Mars being over there in Cancer. So you'll see like how all is connecting. Now, as far as the nakshatra that the sun is in, it's in the Saurabhisha nakshatra. You can pinpoint all the planets down to each nakshatra if you wanted to. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do that with you guys today, but I will get into the nakshatra that the sun is in so that you guys have energy awareness of where the sun and moon is at, which represents our internal and external third eye as a collective. This is the Sarabisha nakshatra, which is the 24th out of the 27 lunar mansions. It goes from 6 degrees Aquarius to 20 degrees Aquarius. And since, like, whether you use the geocentric or the heliocentric model, it's still a 1 degree movement every day. We have about 10 more days in this nakshatra, okay, guys? It's ruled by the planet Rahu, which is the north node of the moon, and its presiding deity is Vasu, a group of 8 deities associated with light, energy, and prosperity. The symbol is a circle, which represents the ability to see things as they are, and a thousand-petaled flower, symbolizing the power of healing and spiritual growth. Um, La 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 la. Rahu's influence brings illusion, discovery, and mental desires, material desires, excuse me. Rahu is a planet that seeks to bring transformation, and it can sometimes create confusion, but it also leads to breakthroughs, particularly in matters of spirituality, knowledge, and hidden realms. You guys know Rahu is the North Node, right? Okay, cool. The symbol is a circle, which indicates the wholeness of life and unity of the opposites. The circle can also represent infinity, the cosmos, and the idea of completeness. The symbol can be linked to spiritual growth, healing, and transformation, which is like divine because, like, we'll be in the fixed degrees of the fixed air. So it's only righteous that is represented by a circle or a sense of completion. And this airspace is really heavy on your intellect, and the intellect that sets the foundation in your root chakra, whether rooted in the cosmos with the Ketter's energy, or rooted in your physical root chakra, whether you're dealing with 1 or 10, from the first sphere to the 10 in Malkuth, right? Now you have the knowledge, the Ketters in your cipher, which brings it to the physical. So either way you're dealing with that one, that's what we're dealing with in this fixed right now in our experience. So that's pretty, cool. But yeah, this nakshatra is strongly associated with the themes of healing, spirituality, and mysticism, right? A focus on hidden knowledge, the occult, and spiritual transformation. Healing work, whether through physical, emotional, or spiritual means, is heavy here. In my mind, I pulled the Hierophant card on all of y'all for the next 10 days. Sadabisha is a nakshatra of deep introspection and heightened sense of intuition. So yeah, spiritual seeking, healing powers, humanitarian energy, being innovative and unconventional, progressive ideas, cutting edge technology, unconventional methods, revolutionizing the way things are done. Be mindful of the illusions and the confusions that are created during these next 10 days and our experiences, because Rahu can create illusions or make people feel emotionally disconnected from the material world. So be mindful. And yeah, focusing on knowledge and truth is heavy here. So all of that's happening in the sun of our experiences, right? The moon and Albalda are in conjunction at 10:15 p.m. The moon is 6.7 degrees south. And so go with you. Ugh. Hello, y'all. Peace to everybody that just came in. Hey, Charmaine. Hey, Tanil. I'm sorry if I butchered that, Joan. But Albalda is a star in the Sagittarius constellation. It's located in the back of the head of the archer. It brings on the energy of harvest, gain, buildings, and travelers. So that's fun. And that's what we're getting in our introspection. The best visibility of Earth shine on the moon is just before sunrise. Mercury and Saturn are at minimal angle today at 4:46 a.m. Mercury will be 1.4 degrees north-northwest. Observe at 6:26 p.m. with a 1.6 degree northwest separation. Mercury rules over the throat chakra, so this is, communication, intellect, scheduling, self-management, healing, because we're dealing with our health here, our wellness and daily routine, our moral code is going to be experiencing that Saturn energy, which is challenges that come to strengthen our Mercury energy. So, be mindful of that. Both of these planets are sitting in Pisces, so it's coming to that space of imagination. What we envision, the illusions that we've created, whether they're in our favor or some are not so much in our favor. Akashic records, hidden dreams, anything beneath the horizon, which we start dealing with Akashic records and soul contracts, past lives, future lives, all that fun stuff. Little Shawty, peace, and thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. Thank you for whoever's liking the screen as well. I appreciate you as well. Thank you. But yeah, all that's happening. So experiencing some challenges, all that's going towards the fourth house. So majority of these Piscean placements and early Aries placements is happening in the fourth house, just to remind you guys, let y'all know. So a lot of, a lot going on to home and family, a lot going on to our feminine emotional self, a lot going on to pull us out of the age of Pisces, that last little bit of delusions and illusions that was being fed to us on, and revealing hidden agendas, secrets, and anything that's not in alignment with Mayat. You know what I'm saying? So being mindful of that. But it's all going towards that fourth house, intuition, introspection. We're coming into the new beginnings of all that. What's else happening in the fourth house? Neptune enters Draconic Aries this morning. That's happening at 10:15 a.m., which is very interesting because Neptune had been in Pisces zodiac since 2012. Woo! So we have a big transit happening today. Check on your Piscean people, or people with heavy 12th house Pisces energy. They will be experiencing a lot of fire today. Which can, it can go a couple ways. Some of them have probably been waiting for the fire. They've already been pre-gaming for it, getting active, feeling motivated, some new beginnings. But these new beginnings are pretty harsh, because Mars is a very harsh, militaristic, type fire energy. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a little hard on a homie. So, but new beginnings happening in the spiritual realm. We talked about this a few times. I told you guys how you see the transformations of power and the hidden agendas coming to the light in the physical realm, in the material world, with the corporations and all that stuff. A lot of that's happening in the spiritual realm too. So you'll feel a lot of that happening. You'll feel a lot of different shifts happening on your spiritual realm. Different kind of deja vu events happening. Like I had deja vu like a really heavy earlier today. I've also been very sleepy. I'm a heavy Virgo though, so all this Piscean energy is very opposite. It's very bottom heavy for me. But it's all in my ninth house, because my ninth house is ruled by Pisces. So it is bringing a space of expansion and wisdom for me. So I move in gratitude either way. But yeah. So that, and me being transparent with how the placements are, setting up my placements is hopefully opening up you guys' eyes on how, you take the transit information and put it to your personal placements and be like, oh, okay, these are my Pisces placements and these are my Aries placements. Neptune is entering my Aries on the tropical chart. Okay, so now it's about to align with my Aries placements. I don't have anything in Aries. So, if you guys do, Neptune is coming for you, okay? But like I said, it's still happening in the fourth house of home and family. So a lot of, spiritual experiences and spiritual connections, karmic bonds in the home and family on the spiritual realm, and, emotional connections and stuff, all new beginnings, and they all might not be pretty. They all might not be pretty. I'm not going to sit here. I don't know how, I am blunt, but I don't know. When I'm here talking to y'all, I don't feel that to be that sometimes. But yeah, it's not always, it's not gonna be super. We're in the year 2025. This is the year of Ogun. This is the year of fire. So a lot of things are happening in a fire militaristic way and an authoritative way. You guys know that, right? We've already been experiencing it with the house fires and the new government that we have now happening, and all of it's happening very abrupt, the way fire moves. A lot of you guys have been experiencing these different things on the interpersonal level, with your jobs, with corporations, with different benefits you have been receiving that you're no longer receiving and stuff. Like, everything has been very abrupt. But just know that the way physics moves is a lot of things are being removed to make space for new things. You know what I'm saying? So right after Aries, we get Taurus energy. You know what I'm saying? So something to look forward to, like, dang, this fire burning, but we know Taurus is beautiful and the flowers start blooming and it's abundant and we're in a Venusian vibe and it smells good here. Are these peonies? I don't fucking know. But we start to get to this better space. So, but just know that the fire has to happen to get there. You know what I'm saying? So keeping that in mind while we experiencing this. But for my dreamers out there, you guys having more fire war type energy happening in your dream world. A lot of things happening abruptly for you guys that, really live spiritually, like me personally, everything to me is a spiritual experience. Like I see everything like what is this, what is the energetic connection to it, because everything to me is physics. Physics, metaphysics, like what is this? It's just in material form, and that's just, it's not me telling y'all to think like me, it's me being transparent with y'all about how I think and how I experience my experiences. And it a lot to do with the fact that I have a lot of Virgo placements, which puts me in my head a lot anyway, and over analyzing, thinking, and stuff like that. And while they're in Virgo in that space, they're in Scorpio on my Draconic chart. So everything is empowering, and transforming to my spiritual experience anyway. So me thinking that way, now that I know the astrological makeup of it, because I already had this mindset before I got to putting the jargon to it. Now I was like, oh, okay. And then when I put the jargon to it, it makes it even more empowering for me. So that's just me being transparent. You don't have to think like me. Think however way you want to. But I'm hoping that when I do express my transparency and how I go about doing things, it kind of like, helps you guys out if it does. That's the goal. That's all. Anyway, so yeah, Neptune entering Aries, right? New beginnings in that space. You have a Pisces moon, ninth house as well. Okay. So with that Pisces moon, you'll start feeling the Aries fire on your moon, because Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So it's like having that new beginning energy happening to your emotional self, and it's happening in your ninth house. So that's a space of expansion, foreign interaction. So you might see yourself traveling, whether astral projection, physical traveling, or even through the ones and zeros of technology, but just like interacting with foreign cultures and knowledge and things like that is heavy there. Expansion and growth and stuff. But it's going to happen in an abrupt way. It's not going to be gradual or hold your hand. It's going to be like, boom, this is happening. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to start experiencing in our spiritual experiences with Neptune entering Pisces zodiac. Now, we are still in Pisces constellation, and we're going to be in Pisces constellation for another like 10 years or so, 10, 12 years or so. So, I won't say don't get comfortable, but I will say, like, even though this is where our mindset is at, and our mind creates the auric space, our energy exchanges are still in Pisces. So it's still going to be Pisces experiences. It's still going to be spiritual experiences while our mind is creating the new beginnings for those spiritual experiences, right? Ceres also enters Pisces zodiac. So we got a lot of Pisces Aries alignments, because we talked about Psyche, which is the asteroid that, pretty self-explanatory, your psychological functions is in Pisces, and that happened yesterday, day before yesterday. So now we also have Ceres. What do you need to nurture or cultivate your spiritual self? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was trying to think of another way to word that, but no, that was good enough. What do you need to nurture that, and that's happening at 10:15 a.m. as well. So 10 a.m. is a good hour if you guys want to meditate and you guys want to get like a whiff of that punch real quick of, all right, this is what's happening. That 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is probably like a really good hour to like really pay attention to like your spiritual, experiences. But that's what's happening astrologically, astronomically in the cosmos. So let's get into the calendar. We have the sun sitting in Aquarius, Pisces, and in the Hindu calendar, as far as it being an Aquarius, that's the energy of Kumbha, the water bearer, which is ruled by air. The ruling planet is Graha, which is Saturn and Uranus in modern astrology. Hey, Skylar, how you doing? Some traits are being innovative, independent, idealistic, humanitarian. Aquarians are known for their originality, forward-thinking ideas, and desire to improve society. The ruling deity is Lord Shiva, the Lord of Time, and Lord Vishnu. So Aquarius is often associated with the innovative and humanitarian aspects of Lord Vishnu, who preserves and nurtures cosmic order. However, Shiva, as the Lord of Time and transformation, also governs Aquarius's connection to the future and unconventionality. So that's happening in the Vedic chart, happenings. And a mindset as well as spiritual. We're in Pisces, which is Mina, that's the fish, that's water, and its ruling planet is Jupiter. Being compassionate, intuitive, artistic, and dreamy, Pisceans are deeply empathetic, creative, and often drawn to spirituality or artistic pursuits. They are sensitive and understanding of other feelings. Excuse me. Lord Vishnu is the ruling deity, as Matsya, the fish incarnation. Vishnu's Matsya incarnation is directly linked to Pisces, symbolizing spiritual guidance, compassion, and adaptability. Pisces is considered a sign of deep spiritual connection and intuition, qualities that are embodied by Vishnu's incarnation. So, those are the two rashis that we are experiencing in our sun placement, right? As far as the Hebrew calendar, we are in the month of Shavat. Um, Shavat marks the beginning of rainy season in Israel. It is a month of growth and renewal. It symbolizes the fruit-bearing season in the spiritual sense. The 15th of Shavat, which was the 12th of February, that was the new year for the trees, which marks the renewal of nature and the importance of land in Israel. Some key words for the month of Shavat is growth, renewal, and connection to the land. We're here for 4 more days, and then we'll be in the month of Adar, which celebrates the deliverance of the Jews in the Persian Empire. Um, and that's cool. Liberation, freedom. But right now we're still in the last 4 days of Shabbat. So we move in gratitude as we experience, the new beginnings in nature and stuff. Now in the ancient Kemetic calendar, we're still in the month of Makir. And this is the growing season because in the ancient Kemetic calendar, we get 3 seasons. And each season we get 4 months. Each month gives us 30 days, and that's 10-day weeks. We like to call those decans, and we'll get into what decan we're in a moment. But the month of Makir, till about March 9th. The zodiac sign is Shu, and the ruling deity is Horus or Ra Horus. These are Egyptian gods whose eyes are associated with protection and power. The eye of Horus represents protection from evil, while the eye of Ra represents fear. And we got into that heavy, especially if you guys were in alignment with my build your own tarot card reading. We got into the eye of Horus, the triangle over the right eye or over the left eye or over here or whatever, like the different places they put, their triangles for their Merkabas or whatever that like you see in the different, these celebrities, which is stars. They're stars. They're personification of stars. We're watching on these ones and zeros, and we look up to or whatever. But they're like the modern day mythological beings. Like if you know what's happening in the stars, and then you watch these celebrities and their stories, like they go hand in hand. That's why a lot of these astrologers that focus on celebrities, they do so well. They do so well. I just don't have it in me. I just rather empower you guys. I don't want to talk about people's personal business. I'd rather empower you guys. Everybody has their place, and people go to where they want to be. Anyway, but you'll notice that divine alignment, and that's because that's what they are. They're personifications of the stars, and they're showing you like, okay, like when we're in Pisces season, right, and all these Pisces transformations happening and stuff like that. And I believe, like, I give you guys an example. I won't get too far into it, but you have Rihanna, who is a Pisces. I believe ASAP is a Pisces as well, but they were experiencing that Neptune, the shadow of Neptune entering Aries real heavy, this past few weeks or so. And that was in alignment with, like, last year we were in a year of 8, which was in divine alignment with 2024, which is when the case first started. You know what I'm saying? So now we're in the 2025, which is an enforcement. And it just so happened to move in their favor because in the year of enforcing, it happened during a Pisces season. So, like, dang, y'all, if it would have happened in a different season, I don't know what would have happened. But the fact that it happened in Pisces season to enforce things, it worked in their favor. So that's seeing the personification of stars and different things of that nature. And you can even get deeper into the numbers and the aspects and the degrees and stuff. That's all stuff that I have gotten into with you guys with the I have been doing some master classes on Sundays. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we got real deep into the degrees and stuff like that. But we're winding back. But like I said, we're in the year 2-5, this is wisdom in our cipher, and then wisdom in our empowerment. So we're exercising that knowledge that we have in this physical realm of things. Last year I learned, well, when we were in the year of the 1900s, it was a lot of knowledge being born, right? 1 and 9 is knowledge being born, knowledge being born, right? And that was bringing us to knowledge in our cipher. Overall was, that was an era that was of knowledge. Now we're coming into the 2-0. So now we're exercising that knowledge. Now it's wisdom in our cipher. Everything that we learned in the 1900s space, no energy is created or destroyed. So thinking you wasn't here in the 1900s or the 1800s or 1700s, wild thought, you were here. So now we're in the space of 2-0. Now we're exercising that knowledge in our cipher. We're bringing it into the physical. A lot of you guys have aha moments. A lot of people are intellectually connected. Us coming on these 1s and 0s and sharing knowledge, and thus creating different tribes of who believes what and who thinks what and who has faith in what and who wants to control what. All of that is coming into the 2-0s, right? And then 2-5 thereafter, which is wisdom in our empowerment, wisdom in our power, which a lot of you guys are coming to, realization with too. Like, dang, we are very powerful. The power needs to go back to the people. Power was already always with the people. At what point in time did we forget? You know what I'm saying? But now we're starting to enforce that. 5 is the celestial enforcer. This is the Hero Kahuti. 5 is also fire. It's also Aries, right? So like I said, a lot of things that's happening very abruptly. 5 Aries energy also deals with iron, deals with iron and weapons. You're dealing with, I don't got to go in detail. I said weapons. I don't want to, start flagging myself on these platforms. You know how they are. But, and just like this, just like we're grabbing onto our authority, is certain beings that have overactive solar plexus chakras. And we're starting to become more aware of that now. So it's like the more empowered we become, the more certain factions and entities and organizations and individuals try to, keep us under their thumb. So it's like I can be on these platforms and feel empowered and have my own business and but I can only say but so much to you guys because there's individuals trying to control what I can say to be seen and heard. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. And we're starting to become more aware of things like that. And some of us are like, damn, I want my power all the way. I want to be able to say everything I want to say to y'all without feeling censored or feeling like I'm being blocked or whatever, what have you. So like, I'm going to empower myself even more. Some people are creating their own platforms. Some people are having more in-person meetings. I myself, I like to engage in more in-person workshops and conventions and lectures and stuff like that with you guys than sitting on these 1s and 0s. That's something that I just would rather do. But you have different things like that. So that's there. Anyway, overall, the wisdom in our cipher brings the wisdom in our power. The wisdom in our power comes up to 7. So that's bringing us closer to God. The more we exercise our power and our authority, and at 5, that celestial enforcer. And then we take that wisdom in our cipher, which brings us the wisdom, and we put that wisdom with that God, that 7 energy. 7 also deals with the Libra scales. That's justice. So you see a lot of stuff coming to court, a lot of stuff dealing with that Lady Justice. It's time for Lady Justice to take the blindfold off and actually pay attention to who she's holding the scales to. You know what I'm saying? That was never a flex, walking around with a blindfold on and a little hidden chain at her feet. That was never a flex. You know what I'm saying? So now we're taking a blindfold off and we're really seeing and paying attention to, where justice needs to be applied to. It's no more blind, and that's how it was. It was intentionally like that because it wasn't about being guilty or innocent. It was about what can you prove? Can you play chess in this room? This, courtroom is magic. Down to the kind of wood that they use on the gavel, putting your hand on the Bible, sit the way they have people sitting, the levels that they have people sitting, the flags, everything in there is it's a whole. That's why you have to get summoned there. You get summoned there, and there's a certain place that you sit at when you get summoned. Everybody has their place in that room. Yeah, you got a whole crowd of people that you're sitting in front of, and they have to be in agreement. Yeah. It's a whole magic joint in there. And so we're seeing a lot of people undergo these different seances and being summoned into these rooms, and it's giving us this sense of realization of what's really going on. We're taking the blindfold off, right? Overall, this is the year of 9. This is the year of harvest. we reap what we sow, so we got to act like it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're putting into that 9, if you haven't noticed the pattern with today with the mathematics, we've been doing this for like 2 months now. It's really exciting, right? Yeah. We enjoyed the month of Janus, all the transformations, putting that 1 and 9 together, which brought us to, taking that knowledge in our cipher. You know what I'm saying? And an overall knowledge, right? Because January is 1 and the year is 9, so that brought us to 10. Malkuth, our earthly self. So we were heavy on the earth energy, heavy on the putting the knowledge into our cipher, heavy on the knowledge in the month of January. So now this month, the month of 2, this was the month of mastery, right? Because we had the balance, harmony, and the truth, and we were putting it into the year of 9. And so that was bringing us to 11. We were heavily mastering ourselves, and we were also working on our interpersonal relationships, because for some of you guys that like to break down the 11, that brought us to 2. So interpersonal relationships, bonds and contracts, heavy on the Maya energy. You know what I'm saying? So, and I thought that was cool. That's in February. And we deal with, Valentine's Day and romantic pursuits and stuff like that. And some of us having realizations of what they need and require romantic relationships. Some of you guys really taking the space to actually like cultivate that into your space and attract it into your space. Do you know how to recognize when you're receiving it and when you're being played with? That's the test. But yeah, this was a month of mastery. So when we get into the month of 3, we'll have 3 and 9. So that'll be the understanding and the challenges and the creation and the expression and emotion. And we're harvesting with that. And that's going to bring us to knowledge and wisdom. Ultimately, the March is going to be the month of understanding, expression, emotions. 3 is associated with Saturn energy. That's the challenges that come into our space. So 3 is not going to be super easy, right? Because, agriculturally speaking, that's when the seeds start to sprout and they have to go through the dirt. The dirt's finally starting to loosen up. I think in March we get the worm moon, when the soil's, officially like loosening up. But it's not easy for a seed to sprout in the darkness and the dirt. It's not easy. That's hard work. And then it has to, avoid all the things that's trying to eat it. And that's not just, the physical seed to the plants we're trying to grow. That's to your mental seeds, your emotional seeds, your connections, the business things. They have to grow. Now they have to sprout. And it's very difficult because now we're starting to get 50, 60-degree weather. If you up here in Jersey with me, it's starting to get nicer outside, but it's not, it ain't, certain things just aren't there yet. You know what I'm saying? You still got to get the, like, yeah, Mars went prograde, but we're about to have Venus and Mercury in retrograde. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's type stuff like that. Like, it's still like, kind of like moving back and forth a little bit. We scratching the vinyl in this space. So, but we are in that space of understanding when we get to the month of 3. So that's how you do the mathematics with that. I don't know how we got there. My bad, y'all. But this is the year of gold, right? In the alchemy energy. This being passionate, interesting, and faithful, attracting many people, being generous, kind, and having long-lasting relationships. The love of luxury and spending money, if you have it, you're going to experiences where it's going to be taken from you in this year of gold, because we're trying to show you that it's not about what you have. It's about you and just being great, and we love you just the way you are, right? It's that balance of spiritual and non and the physical, you know what I'm saying? And if you move in that space of balance, it's a whole lot easier for you to keep your stuff. But if you're not moving balanced, then you're just over here like, yeah, it's not going to be easy for you to keep your stuff. I promise you that. Unfortunately, I can guarantee it. We're in the energy of the wealth of Amber on the West African horoscope. Blessing the natives with a sense of morality as well as rebellion, and giving unique instincts, adventurous but not methodical or organized, highly passionate about material goods, again, can be easily lost. As far as the Native American horoscope, we're in the energy of the otter. I didn't change that yet. My bad. It's not the otter. We're in the month of the wolf. Hold on. See, that's what I get for taking days off. I didn't realize what I changed and didn't change. Okay, but we're in the wolf until March 20th. This is the frog clan. Wolves are quick and elusive, great at adapting, and great willpower. Do not fall to influence. Wolves are omens and have great healing powers, good intuition, and bringing a sense of life and death. And the Druid or the Celtic horoscope, we're in the energy of the Rowan, which is the thinker. The animal that represents this energy is the green dragon, and the stone is peridot. Being original, keen, visionary, morale, free thinker, naturally creative. People in this energy always seek harmony and balance, and they're very romantic and always need love to complete their happiness. As far as the Chinese horoscope, we're in the energy of the wood snake. A period of transformation, creativity, wisdom, and unpredictability, flexible and diplomatic opportunities amongst the challenges, and physical and vitality and passion is key here. Hey, Hurley, how you doing? Hey, Taurus Queen. Thank you for dropping the knowledge. We do love it here. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, as far as the weeks go, we are in the week of Jeb when it comes to the ancient Kemetic calendar. We're here till February 28th, so we're going to take the rest of this month out. We start March in Osiris from March 1st to 10th. So the first decan of March is Osiris. But anyway, so being in Jeb is being persistent, reliable friend. You know, Jeb is Earth. That's the 10th Sephiroth Malkuth. This is the god of Earth. Laughter starts earthquakes, faithful, open, sensitive, and shy. Yom Shini is the Hebrew day of the week. It is the second day or Monday. On the second day of creation, God separated the waters, Genesis 1:6 through 8. Unlike the other days of creation, the second day is not directly associated with blessing in the Torah. It's a day of separation and division, symbolizing the idea of differentiation and balance in the world. So, separation, balance, and division are the days of Monday, and we love it there. Lord Shiva is the Monday, and the Hindu calendar, again, still ruled by the moon. Lord Shiva is the destroyer and transformer in the Hindu Trinity, which is the Trimurti. He is also associated with meditation, asceticism, dance, and the destruction of ego. And the moon, which governs emotions and the mind, is linked to Lord Shiva, who is the compassionate and terrifying god of regeneration and transcendence. Mondays are dedicated to worshiping Lord Shiva, and many devotees observe fasting and special rituals on this day, chanting mantras and the Om Namah Shivaya or Shiva Sahasranama is considered auspicious for seeking blessings of spiritual growth, mental peace, and liberation. So we have Yam Shini or Samvar. Those are the different Mondays. Coming back to the forecast, the Monday deals with the moon day. This is the internal side of the third eye. Sunday we deal with the external side of the third eye. But when we deal with the third eye, we're dealing with Ajna, which is command or beyond wisdom. It's between the eyebrows. We're dealing with the polarity, the inner self when we deal with Monday. Intuition, mind center, energy, foresight, creative and spiritual self, the light element. F note for my musicians out there, ma sound or him, HRIM. Oh, I always do that because I don't be here. I don't know why the last few Sundays I skip Sundays. That's why. But it's on or doom, DHUM for the moon. As far as the hakals go, so F note, ma sound or doom, DHUM or Those are the hakals for my Reiki healers and my musicians. 852 hertz, and then the color is 490 to 450 nm wavelength. The moon deals with all set. This is Cancer or your Moja energy. This is awareness of the depth of being, learning, healing, nourishing. The ninth sphere or Sephiroth, which deals with worldly events or the divine womb. It deals with the sacral chakra when you're dealing with the Sephiroth, which is, Yesod, foundation of all things. We give birth with all the things. That's why Cancer can also be seen as like the mother, the maternal energy. Everything comes through the mother. The mother is the portal. The mother is the portal. And when you have, I got a couple kids. When you have kids, they like imprint on your mind, especially when you have boys, is more noticeable than when you have girls, but they leave an imprint. It's like you're being possessed, not just physically, but also spiritually and emotionally. So like you really are like a portal, and that's why Cancer energy is definitely associated with the mother and 9 and all that fun stuff. Hey Caution, hey No Face. But yeah, so that is the calendar information. So now we're gonna go through the planetary hours. I do want to. Where's my paper for the planetary hours? I got that. So Mercury retrograde is going to start at 9 degrees Aries. So it's like right before we get into that fixed Aries space. We're going to come into the 9 of completion. We're still in Cardinal Aries. And we're going to go in retrograde on March 5th. So for those of you guys, especially my Geminis, and people who are, hey Ra, hey, and people who have a stellium in the 3rd house. or Gemini. Anyway, either or. You guys usually feel this stuff ahead of time with the Mercury retrograde. Virgos, y'all feel this ahead of time too, or my sixth house stellums. Y'all feel this heavy ahead of time, but not as much as my. I was about to say, I don't know what the fuck I was about to say. My Geminis, y'all feel it. Probably this week you guys are going to feel that, right? Gemini North Node. Okay, so you'll feel that transformation and the movements towards your, your spiritual journey. Oh, South Node. Okay, so instead of it being transformations, it's more so your comfortable self. So you engaging in that comfort zone and stuff like that is going to be a lot slower. um and then yours is in Gemini and we're in Aries. Ooh. You gonna fight for your life, truth. But hey, we retrograde back into Pisces. Yay, right? Yeah. But if you like the movement and the abruptness and the bang bang of Aries energy, then hey, yeah. Definitely feel the comfort zone Polish. Definitely. And it's gonna be very abrupt. But we do retrograde back to 26 degrees Pisces by April 7th. That's when we go prograde. All right, so just so y'all know, that's what's happening. And who else we got? Venus retrograde. So my Taurus and my Libras, you guys of course feel this before my Taurians. My Taurians, you guys are fixed Earth, slow and steady. Oh, my air and Earth babies, you guys are y'all okay over there? But that retrograde starts on March 2nd. So if you have a lot of second house placements, seventh house placements, Taurus or Libra, you guys feeling it already because the second is on like what, Saturday? So, we're getting that slowdown. Now, Venus right now is in Aries, so we are getting that abrupt, like what you're prioritizing, your space of love. You guys entering relationships in 0.025 seconds. You entering new business movements and prioritizing things and physical things coming into your space happening real fast, y'all. But once you start signing into these contracts and making these transformations and stuff like that, it's going to slow back down again for you so you can marinate. So this will actually work in your favor, y'all. Venus just going straight prograde through Aries throughout all 30 degrees. That probably would not have been a good deal when once the sun entered Aries. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is actually good. We like this. We like Venus going in retrograde in Aries. Just slow down for a homie. Cause Aries can be a lot. A lot of you guys are getting really ambitious, starting to see the sun out, trying to take your buns out. I see somebody with a halter top shirt on today and no jacket. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it's only 45 degrees. Chill out. Chill out. Ain't nothing but Venus and Aries. You know what I'm saying? And you just want to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to feel that we are going to make our way back into Pisces with that energy too. So, by April 13th, we will be back in Pisces at a 24-degree, and that's fun. Will be so it seems like yeah, it seems like Mercury and Venus are, kind of in the same space with that. Hey, Pharaoh. I'm sorry, I was calling you by the wrong name on the wrong platform. I've been fighting though. I don't know, going through separation with a Pisces, so just hermit time and fly using my North Node energy and Ophiuchus sun. Oh, you're in Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is such a rare energy to be born in. I think it's more so because nobody really recognizes the Ophiuchus constellation. Nobody recognizes Ophiuchus op either. Cephas is between Gemini and Cancer. And, I feel like, the 14th constellation doesn't get all the love it deserves. You're a Gemini? Hmm. So you probably are going to start feeling, well, if your sun is in Gemini, that means you have Gemini experiences. Now, if you know what degree your Gemini energy is in, if you are past the 24-degree mark, then you're also in the Gemini constellation. So not only do you have Gemini mental experiences, but you also have physical Gemini experiences. And so you're on the 21st. Okay, so your sun is in Gemini on the tropical, but your sun is in Taurus on the Vedic then. If you're a 21st Gemini. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Baby. Love it here. So you're having those. Okay, so Yeah, you probably felt that Mars going prograde yesterday, today, in the Gemini constellation. But while that's happening in the Vedic chart, it's affecting your mental. I know a little something about house remedies. I got a little shine. I actually just did a whole astrology course on that. Going towards North Node energy. My job will be hiring people on from temps in a month, so I'm noticing the time. Oh yeah, that's definitely Venus and Aries. Hiring people on, and just take the time to train them. Use that Venus in retrograde to train the people and make sure they really know what they got going on before y'all start hiring on more people. That let that retrograde help, because it's also giving people that you hired on an opportunity to see if this is even the job that they really want. They're willing to take on the responsibility, the collection of energies that they have to be around to be at that job and all that stuff. Because not everybody you bring on is going to stay around. But I'm pretty sure you know that already. But yeah, let that retrograde, let that marinate. Oh, I gotta look into that. Because I also do herbs too. Blessed. I gotta look into that. Okay, I see you, Pharaoh Tarot. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love it here. This is my joy. This is my joy. Literally what they're doing. I'm getting trained over the next month. Okay, cool, cool, true. I'm doing this on multiple platforms. So once I get done recording on YouTube, I'm cool with people jumping in the box, but I be trying to get through the recording on YouTube so people that watch this later on ain't sitting here forever. I'm on a couple different platforms right now. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, so people can come back and watch the whole thing, and I'm on Meet Me as well. But those are the two retrogrades that we have coming up in March. And you guys know that we have the planets being aligned over there in Pisces fourth house. We got a little Aries fourth house, fifth house situation happening in that space too, guiding us up to our north node. So spiritually, moving us up in that spiritual direction. And they're all gonna be lined up, and then we're gonna have the eclipse in the end of March. It's gonna be a great time, right? Um I wrote that down somewhere. I wrote that down in my astrological notes. Before I get to the planetary hours, I just want to pregame y'all a little bit. Yes. So we have the March equinox on the 20th of March. And then Lilith enters Draconic Scorpio on March 9th. Um, the total lunar eclipse is on March 13th to the 14th. Oh yeah, this is the worm moon. This is the first total lunar eclipse, because the last 2 years we've only been having like partial eclipse. So this is the first total since 2022. So that's exciting. On March 29th, we'll be having the solar eclipse and the super new moon. So that's gonna be fun. And then March 23rd, which is such a weird day because March 23rd was also the first time we experienced Pluto entering Aquarius. It was March 23rd, 2023. I remember because it was like the moment that it happened. I was doing my mathematics with you guys. And I think I was doing a planetary forecast or something with you guys. And the moment that it happened, I heard thunder and lightning out the window. This girl across the street started yelling and arguing with people. My sister's car got towed. Like, mad shit started happening. I was like, oh my God. Oh, cool. I never had that gift before. Thank you. I do find joy here. This really makes me happy. I just be trusting the universe. Like, all right, I'm doing what you asked me to do. It's also what I've been asked to do here. I don't know. All right, so let's get into the planetary hour, y'all. We're going to start off with the hour of the moon, which we just passed the first hour. That was from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., right? 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 p.m. to 1 p.m., and 9 p.m. to 8 p.m. The moon deals with your emotional self, your introspection, doing the grounded work, dealing with your foundation. Why am I here? How did I get here? All that fun stuff. That's what we're doing. We know the moon is sitting over there in Capricorn energy in our thought process, giving us the challenges that are here to strengthen us in our third eye and our introspection and things. And then it's in Sagittarius and the energy exchanges. So as our mind is giving us the problems, our experiences are showing us how to grow and be optimistic about the problems that are in our head, right? And as you create the problems in your head, You're going to create the problems in your vortex because you know we're in Draconic Capricorn as well. And then the actual energy exchanges is going to be Sagittarius. Like, this is how you could expand past the problems. Now, that's only if you're open up to expanding past the problems. The hours of Saturn, which we kind of just exited, that was 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and then 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. So Saturn is the actual challenges that we experience to give us the discipline and order. You know, long-term planning. Hey, Pac-Man, how you doing? Long-term planning is heavy here. You know, start to think about some of the challenges like, oh, you know, I want a van. I want to change my van into a house, and I want to spend the summer going on tour, and I want to do lectures, and I want to perform my music. That's how I want to spend my summer before I go to my land in September and start putting my hands in the dirt and start building my house and stuff. Like, that's what I want to do. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, what are the challenges? How do we plan this out? You know, what do I need to know? How do I organize this? How do I take this grand idea and bring it into the physical, right? That's just me being transparent about how I spend my Saturn energy. And you just think about how you want to spend yours, you know? Jupiter. Jupiter is basically what I just said. As your Saturn gives you the challenges. Coming back to Saturn. Y'all know Saturn is in Pisces, right? You know, so it's all about, like, basically what I just said, your dreams and your goals and your aspirations, and how do I bring that into the physical? And it's all happening in the 4th house, so that brings you back to the moon, the Cancer energy, right? Yeah, so if you know any areas in your area y'all would like to see me come out and have a talk, or I do different exercises, I do energy awareness workshops and stuff, I would love to. I would love to. But Jupiter gives you the optimism now. This is the stuff that, now, how do I expand? How do I grow? Being optimistic, being generous, humanitarian type energy. And it also deals with the long-term planning. It's just the solution oriented, the positive thinking oriented part of the long-term planning. And those Jupiter hours, we're now in Jupiter. That's 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Well, if you're on the East Coast with me. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then 11 p.m. to midnight. We are in the hours of Jupiter. And Jupiter's over there in Gemini in our thought process. It's still at 11 degrees, so we're mastering, and Jupiter and Gemini can kind of be like, because it could be all over the place. Now, the thing with it is, start with Saturn first. That's why Saturn's hour comes before Jupiter hour, because you want to restrict and focus before you start being expanded and optimistic. Because if Jupiter hour came first, you'd be all over the place, and now you're spending all your time trying to find a focus amongst the all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So you got like 25 different goals and stuff, and now you just focused on what goal to do first rather than, oh, I got this goal. How do I make this goal happen? You know what I'm saying? So Jupiter being in Gemini can put you in that space. Now you learning about a whole bunch of stuff at once. You could be all over the place, if you have that overactive Jupiter Gemini energy, because that's fire, that's air. Air could either blow the fire out, which I do not see Gemini doing it. I see that blowing just enough air to make it bigger, like, because one thing about a Gemini, they gonna make some shit spread and connect and everything else, and Jupiter's just like, I love connection and expansion, we everywhere, like, so they go hand in hand, two peas in a pod, okay? So all of that is happening in the 7th house, so finding balance and justice there is key. So just expanding yourself and your intellect and your knowledge and your confidence in that realm of things. Thinking of different ways you can give back and build towards that utopia that you're trying to create, whether that's more so your personal and how you want your home or your neighborhood to go, or your business, or, if you're thinking about like, it's my duty to save the world. Okay. And hey, if it's your duty to save the world, go for it. It's people out here touching all 4 corners of that little square map that somebody drew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Why not? Some people trying to go out and save beyond the ice wall. Hey, I'm here for that too. And let me know, because I want to go. I want to see what they got over there. But yeah, so, the world is yours. While Jupiter is over there in Gemini, it's still in the Taurus constellation. So a lot of that expansion and abundance is happening to the things that you choose to prioritize and see value in when it comes to that balance of material and non-material. Remember, I told you we're in the energy of wealth of Emperor and the year of gold, where if you guys are too focused on the material stuff, it will be snatched from you. And then we're in the year of the snake. So, which deals with a lot of luxury, a lot of marketing of luxurious things and stuff like that. Don't fall for the hype. Don't fall for the hype. The goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. Because if you're falling for the hype, you're not fully planning things out and thinking things through. Impulsive actions have no space here, you know. And that's for those of you guys that are trying to move more in that spiritual realm of things and having that, you know, being a part of the spiritual war that's happening. For those of you guys that are trying to find your place in the spiritual world, the goal is to find the balance between the physical and the non-physical, says Jupiter, right? And it's justice happening on both sides of the spectrum. Now, the hours of Mars is 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 p.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then midnight. Of course, we start Tuesday on a Mars hour, right? Just discovered my ascendant in Cancer. Oh, cool. Cancer rising. So, yeah, you should pay attention to the moon. Cause whatever the moon's doing, that's probably like you're probably in alignment with your auric energy. Right. Mars deals with like your assertive energy, what motivates you, what gets you going, the aggressive self. Mars is probably like a good hour to like do some workout, burn off some steam or whatever. But definitely a good time to like focus on like what'll motivate you and get you, you know, in that trajectory that you want to go to. We still have Mars being stationary right now. It's not fully prograde yet. It's at a complete standstill for a little bit, but it is in Cancer on our mindset. So being in that motivation of home and family and nurturing energy, and then and the energy exchanges of things, Mars is in Gemini. So it's in that space of community, you know. So as you're having this introspection of, you know, this is what I want, this is how I want to, you know, this is what motivates me, this is what gets me going, what you're going to start having or experiencing is the community that's going to give you that. And that is the importance of walking in your authenticity, because if you're not walking in your authenticity and you're just doing stuff because I feel like I have to do this, or I'm trying to live up to such and such expectations, or I saw this on TV, or somebody on the internet said that this worked for them, you're going to attract that community that's going to push you into a reality you don't want to be in, and you're not going to appreciate, and you're kind of like taking that space away from somebody who actually wants to be there or needs to be there for their own thing. So you have to think bigger than yourself when you think of moving in your authenticity. You're doing the whole world a justice. And for my superheroes out there, you're saving the world when you have your authenticity in so many different ways. And this is all happening in the eighth house of building and destroying. So as you're building and destroying, you know, your introspection, your emotions, and, you know, some things that used to nurture you just don't do it for you anymore. You know, certain things that used to anger you just doesn't do it for you anymore. Like it doesn't make me angry. I feel very numb to this. I don't care. There's certain things used to get you up in the morning, and it's just like, nah, it's not. And so you're going to, you know, like I said, you're going to attract the community and the intellect that's going to get you there. The sun hours. Now, the sun deals with energy, but it's not so much as assertive and aggressive as Mars. It's more so like vitality and your experiences and expressions of that. And the hours for that are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the hours of the sun. And we talked about the sun a lot of it. We talked about the nakshatra it's in. It's in Pisces on the tropical and the Draconic. So our mind and soul is in that, you know, Akashic records, soul contracts, hidden agendas and dreams, being an illusionist or being under, you know, illusions, things of that nature. How we're experiencing and expressing those things. Chesed energy is heavy here, you know, just coming into a space of truth, you know, and how the truth is in your imagination. And the energy exchanges of our experiences, we are in Aquarius, so being innovative, experiencing that innovation. So like if your thoughts is all out there and it wants to do some crazy shit, like, yo, if that is where you're authentically at, then that's where it's at. Could you imagine like the first people that created the airplane, it was like, yeah, we're gonna build this apparatus and it's gonna fly, cuz, and we're gonna have a whole bunch of people in it, and everybody gonna be able to fly with their luggage and their pets, and it's gonna be a great time, and we're gonna fly from this state to that state. Like, could you imagine if they wasn't in that Aquarius energy the way that they was? We were looking at them, you know, people was looking at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? What about the first boat? You know what I'm saying? What about the first computer? Like they didn't get all the support. It was Aquarius. It was innovative. It was, you know, revolutionary. obviously these are things that we use and love and depend on every day now, you know what I'm saying, on a regular basis. But could you imagine if they weren't in that Aquarian energy, if they weren't in that 11th house energy, like they wouldn't be doing any of that. So all that to be hopefully to like uplift you. Like you might be the next airplane maker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, parallel to whatever it is that you're trying to do. You know, you might normalize something that has never even been thought of yet. You know what I'm saying? So like if your thoughts are outlandish and out there, trust that there is a community for your thoughts that are waiting for you to say your thoughts so that they can gravitate to you and see you where you're at and help you with what you got going on. You know, everybody deserves their conglomerate. You deserve yours too. Venus hours are from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We talked about Venus a lot, but you know, Venus is at that 10 degree in Aries, you know, so now we're starting to enter that fixed space of new beginnings and, you know, abrupt energy, things happening just like that in the space of wealth and love and priorities and what we value and what we seek beauty in, creating things in our space, lots of new beginnings, you know, things going away to make space for a new. And it's happening very aggressively. It's happening in the 5th house too. So being confident, courageous, you know, lots of stuff happening to our kids. Talk to your kids. How was school today? And make them really tell you how school was today. Like who needed to get punched in their face today? You know what I'm saying? Like what teacher was doing the most today? Like, you know, because the 5th house deals with kids too. So we got to watch out for our kids. They always come home from school and be like, nothing. It was okay. No, I need to gossip to me like I'm the silent person on three-way. What's up? Like, you know, get into it because there will be some abrupt things happening in the Venusian realm in that 5th house with our babies as well. So we need to, you know, pay attention to that also. But also with our inner child, the inner child of people around us is a big thing here too. Now, Venus is still sitting over there in the Pisces constellation. So while we're experiencing the new beginnings in our mind and thus creating them in our vortex, what's happening in our energy exchanges is we are, you know, having the Venusian experiences of our imagination and what we, you know, and that's the importance of, thank you for the follow. And that's the importance of sitting in our authenticity of the things that we want. The hours of Mercury, last but certainly not least, it's the last hours. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., and then 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mercury hours are great for learning, you know, want to study something, communicating, traveling too. If you guys like to travel, like Gemini, you know, between cities type John, like, you know, it's a good time for that. And if any of you guys are into trading, those are good trading hours too, like listening to trading news or engaging in your indicators and stuff like that. You know, that's what Mercury is for. Scheduling and organizing yourself as well. Yeah, so Mercury we talked about is over there in Pisces in the 4th house, in our thought process. So, you know, invoking, you know, managing, organizing, you know, creating, you know, a daily routine, a health plan or whatever in our imagination, the things that we want to see into fruition. And it's happening in the 4th house, so nurturing space. That brings us back up to the moon, which is bringing us over into Capricorn 2nd house energy, which will bring us back down to, you know, Taurus. So, you know, you see like that map out between like the zodiacs and the houses and how they connect you to the different planets. Hey love, how you doing? But yeah, you'll see that. And yeah, so Mercury is having us communicate. And you know, when I see Mercury in Pisces, I'm thinking like spellcaster type John. Like some of you guys like to meditate, some of you guys like affirmations, some of you guys like invocation, some of you guys like to pray. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you do. Some of you guys do like writing, you know, you like to invoke things in your writing and stuff. Hey Michael, all those different things like that, like whatever it works for you. It's like the Mercury thing. But yeah, definitely work on your schedule this week. Start to like get a feel for how you would like your schedule to go in March, but then also take a breath and know when to pull the wheel card and say I trust the universe as well. You know, certain things aren't in my control because the universe has something bigger, but I know what I want. You know what I'm saying? So having that balance between the two. Remember, the goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. So having the balance between having control and doing the things and then also having faith in the universe to make it even bigger, you know, that's heavy here. So I will work on that during those Mercurian hours. And so, yeah, we have a right triangle situation happening. You know, for my spellcasters out there, the top point of the triangle is in Cancer and Mars. So the spotlight is on Mars. You know, Mars is stationary, like, who we looking at? But it's up there. It's in Gemini constellation. So it's on the community, you know what I'm saying? But in our mindset, it's on our introspection and our nurturing self. Now, as far as the 90-degree angle goes on the right triangle, the 90-degree is being supported by I guess that's the connection between, it could either be Saturn or Mercury over there in Pisces. So, Saturn is an earth planet, bringing the challenges in our space. Mercury is an air planet, bringing the intellect. So you have the challenges in the intellect being that sturdiness that's going to help you with that Mars. And then the other side of the triangle, I forget what that line is called. Not the 90-degree side, but the other side. That side, that angle is being supported by the moon over there in Capricorn. So you kind of have like a nice twist between like Saturn in the fourth house with the moon in Pisces. Then you have the moon over there in Capricorn in the second house. And then you have actual Cancer being on the spotlight in the eighth house of empowerment. So that's the triangle we have today. If you guys want to utilize that in some type of way, shape, or form, but definitely use, that intellect on the different kind of challenges you have to be your basis. And remember, that's in the fourth house. But it will be moving you up towards your ambition and motivations. So, to give you guys your collective reading for the day, the theme of today is Mars. Dang, Mars again, huh? So you got Mars and Pluto over here, empowering yourself. That is also the external and the internal and external side of the solar plexus chakra. So you have the gut that controls the mind. Everything starts with the fire in the gut, the thought, and then after that you start manipulating and transforming, building and destroying things on the outside of stuff. Everything's mostly water, so transformations occur once you have that. Tobacco is the herb for today. 2-4. Oh, today's the 24th. See, and I know y'all saw me when I was shuffling these. I don't just be, but yes, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay, we love it here. And today's a day of 8, right? So today is a day of Sebek, that's celestial labeling, but Scorpio energy also rules over the 8th house. And then we have Mars sitting in the 8th house right now. Oh, fuck. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so offering to the ancestors today. Build your altar today. And, this could be your balance. So, like, while you are all up in the physical and this is what I want, this is how I'm going to organize, don't forget to talk to your altar. Some of you guys go to the ancestors, some of you guys will go to deities, some of you guys go to just your different Sephiroths inside yourself. Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? Don't forget to go to the spiritual route with the things as well. We have the night. Oh, we got the Knight of Cups. Oh, we got the High Priestess. Okay, but the High Priestess is in reverse. Okay, so we're gonna work on that though, but it's okay. But yeah, we got the Knight of Cups. Okay, that's cool. We like it here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to the altar with it. We're going to the altar with it. We're going to work on going to, the deities about it, our ancestors that, used to do the works a little bit. I don't know why in my mind I said it's some of these ancestors that used to like, engage into these activities that we're engaging in. It would be a good time now to learn some of them for some of you guys who are not aware of them yet. Go to them, learn them, start to, deal with pay attention to the different things that they were doing too, especially if they were successful. I won't say only, I was about to say only if they were successful, but some of them weren't successful. You could pay attention to what they did and don't do that. But yeah, definitely going towards like our cups, our spiritual, our intuition. And this is heavy giving Mars and Cancer vibes because we look at the fire, but we in the cups of the water and we love it here. We're just stationary, about to go prograde. The parts of self to focus on. We're going to focus on our King of Swords. This is fire and air, so being active on that air energy. Also the Mars and Gemini on the Chokma is 2. So we're paying attention to our wisdom to set. So taking, action on our intellect and flowing in that to a Chokma of our wisdom. That's what we want to focus on. Also focusing on the complacency of our root chakra is heavy here too. Especially if we have like Neptune is about to start kind of aligning a little bit more with our North Node. I know our North Node goes back and forth between Pisces and Aries energy, but definitely it's always Aries on the Draconic chart. So Pisces is, later on today for a few days is going to be linked up to the 0 degrees Draconic North Node. So like heavy on the spiritual connections, heavy on the spiritual messages on the Draconic chart with our thought process. So for some of you guys that are super empathetic and that veil is super thin between the physical and the non-physical for y'all, tag me in y'all lives. I want to see what y'all be chatting about. Anyway, but yeah, we don't want to be complacent in our root chakra. There's certain things that just like they don't serve us anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like certain thought processes, certain behaviors, certain boundaries and walls we've had up. Like, how well are they doing you? Are they like they keeping you closed off to the community that wants to invite you in so you could do the things that you want to do? But like it's like, I'll give you an example. I be meeting dudes and they be like, "Oh my God, I never met a girl like you before. This is so crazy." And then they proceed to treat me like the girls that they used to. That is so weird to me. Why did you do that? That doesn't work here. That worked over there. So, like when you come into a new space and you recognize, "Oh, this is not a community that I'm accustomed to. This is a whole new family." Don't turn around and keep the same boundaries and the same mindset you had with the Dusties over there. Keep that to them. Now you in this new space. You don't have to keep doing this. Look, it's this bear back here. We don't like that. It's not doing you no well. Look at all this sadness around you. You know what I'm saying? Like don't want to stay rooted in that stillness. We don't need to stay in winter all 360. Winter is for winter. Anywho, there's a good meeting coming up for the divination cards. A good meeting coming up, and hopefully it'll put you in the spaces that you need to be in. We got it at a 6 and 1, so it could happen on the day of 6. It could happen on the day of 1, and it could happen definitely on the day of 7. Finding that balance and harmony with the physical and non-physical. But again, this is all in alignment with how well you guys are using that tropical chart and the draconic chart are very much in alignment together. Find out how they're in alignment with your personal tropical and draconic chart. And if you need assistance with reading your charts, you guys know I do this for a living, right? Like, reach out to me. I do free consults to introduce you to what you need to do. But then I also get into, I do sessions too. We can do one-on-one sessions. I do it by the minutes, or we can, I can give you a one-time reading or whatever. But I introduce all those things that I could do for you during our consult or whatever. But good meetings coming and hopefully they're in alignment with you being in your authenticity and not what you doing this nonsense over here. Okay. We don't need to be here. This is not what you want to do anymore. This is not what you want to do anymore. Don't let anything get in your way. Like, if there's anything here that's really supposed to support you, if you let go, they'll still be there. And if they're not, then that wasn't supposed to be a part of this part of the journey. But I think you know that already. And I think that's why you're holding on, because it's like, I know for a fact if I let go, these certain things in my space are going to let go too. And I'm just so comfortable with these certain things in my space. And it's like, yeah, but look at the overall picture. You know what I'm saying? Look at the overall picture just so you could be in your hometown. Or like, look at that shit. Just so you can be in a comfort space. Like, if Neptune and Aries doesn't show you anything, it should be showing you more so about how spiritually we should be progressive forward. Otherwise, Neptune would be near our south node right now, but it's not. It's near the north node. So new beginnings is definitely in order, for us on a spiritual level as well as on a physical, mental level. And, just, walk into your power. You deserve it. We all deserve it. But that's what I got for y'all today, my cosmic nobodies. I love y'all so much. I'm so sorry I had to reschedule the energy awareness course. It will be this Sunday, March 1st. It's from 2 p.m. to 4:44 p.m. EST time. Um, I was sitting and I was enjoying the day of 7, and I started coming to certain realizations of things that I want to do. And I'm organizing it. So I played with my 8s already. I did my 8s at midnight. I organized myself and I moved some things around. So still more things to be excited about. I know when the March equinox comes, it's going to be some really dope shit coming on for me and for you guys. Because, when I grow, we grow. But yeah, so the energy awareness course will definitely be on March 1st. And yeah, reach out to me if you want a personal reading or a personal consult. Yeah, if you want, hit me up on like Instagram. It's Sunshine MONIEEL, and we could have a chat later on today. That's fine. I got space. Um, what else? Oh, for those of you guys who want to participate in the Cosmic Nobodies Convention, this is a convention I do once a year. I'm still looking for a location. So that's still in the air. I'll probably have a solidified location by the New Year's. So give me grace. But yeah, so for those of you guys who want to participate, it's free to nominate and it's free to be nominated. And I do have the Google Drive link for that. If you guys are interested, again, message me and I'll message me your email or somewhere. I know TikTok, the way the messages go, there's not too much room to be sending hyperlinks to things and stuff like that, unless you guys are on your computer. But if you guys send me a message on like Instagram or Facebook or email me lesnobodies@gmail.com, I can send you guys a link to that so you guys can nominate your healers, because March 1st is the last day for nominations. And then we'll start voting April 1st. That gives me time to update the website and all that fun stuff. And we have voting from April to July. So you guys have like a nice little 3-month section of voting before we close that off. And it's fun there. Every year the Cosmic Nobody's Convention is the last Saturday of August. It's a 1 to 3 day event. Depends on how it goes. We've had times where it was 1 day. We've had times where it was 3 days. This is our 5th year, but our 4th ceremony. We move in gratitude. And it's a great vibe for our healers to come together and award one another and engage in workshops and healing vendors and performances and lectures and you know and I really like to see how everybody connects with one another. I like to see, the connections that are being made and, all the fun stuff. But that's what I got, for those of you guys that are in the Philadelphia area, you guys can see me in person. I will be hosting an energy awareness workshop over at the Rec Philly Center. I believe that's on 8th and Market. So if you guys want to check me out over there, I'll be over there from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. doing the energy awareness workshop. And then I'll be in Baltimore on March 15th. Again, you guys can check out my Instagram for those flyers. For March 15th, I have an event during the daytime and another one in the evening. And then on March 22nd, I'll be in Charlotte. I can never remember if it's North Carolina or South Carolina. I think it's South Carolina though, but I'll be in Charlotte. And so you guys can check me out there. Also another flyer that's on my page. So far I'm starting to get some dates going. Mars is starting to go prograde for your girl. Hey. But Mercury's about to go in retrograde, so I'm about to chill out. I don't really like do too much, and when Mercury start tripping and stuff like that, I'm a Virgo stellium, and then my Mars is in Gemini. So we like to chill a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for tapping in, especially you guys that have been sitting here from the beginning to the end. Y'all some real ones. And I will see y'all, this evening for the next mathematics. So peace to y'all on TikTok. I love you guys so much. Thank you. And peace to y'all on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Again, if you guys want to chat with me, hit me up my email or my Instagram. I'll definitely reach out as long as you guys aren't being weird.